2.
Hi, welcome back to Meta Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. I'm Jeff Rappaport, and you are?
Chris Holmes from W.A.S.P. Formerly.
Yes, formally.
The heavy metal, yeah. I like this one.
Nice.
What's that one?
You can't do that.
How do you do that?
This is like the devil one, and this is the one, but that's the good one. This is a...
I don't even... How did you figure it out already? I can't do it. Can you do the Star Trek thing?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
Yeah. The Star Trek's easy one if you just start like this and then spread.
Spock,
Like you don't try to go right into it.
I can't do anything.
Everybody did. When you watch Star Trek, you have to. Every time Spock somebody, you have to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, one of the best shows I've ever seen is when you guys were with Armored Saint, Metallica.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, but it still resonates. It's still one of the best shows I ever saw.
This was when Noah was unloading New York.
Yeah.
That's probably before that.
So was that bad that I liked that show?
No, that's a long time ago.
Right.
It's 30 years ago, man.
Right, but it was a great show. So I was wondering.
Lemoore's, or where did you?
I saw it at was it in Philadelphia? So it was
Tower.
The Tower, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's the Tower's a little bit different.
Yeah, I sat 6th row, so it was like.
Well, W.A.S.P. is a good town. The Tower, they love W.A.S.P. there. A lot more than Metallica there.
Well, people were way into it for sure.
Yeah, I like this. Tower's one of the best places to play on the East Coast. I know. New York.
Really? Yeah.
The Tower's the coolest place, man. This place rocks. I love it.
Now, what was your best memory from that tour?
I was walking down the street getting a Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, we live in New Jersey, and we were still every time we go to Philly,
You
We kind of take it for granted, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't, because we go there all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some horrendous on that tour. There was Metallica was their first tour, Armored Saint, and we went. The guys that partied. The guys that didn't. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was just like, it felt like, I mean, that was like at the Cost of Metal where everybody was like giving their best. It seemed like that, like every band was giving 6,000%.
As playing?
Yeah.
Oh, screw that. This is after.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to play to make the money, man. We're having fun after,
Now you're a big guy. Now,
what do you mean by big?
Well, I mean, you're tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what scares you? I mean, is there anything that scares you?
That's like what scares us? What scares?
I don't know, because if I'm only 5'8", so if I walk down an alley, I'm like terrified. So I mean, like, what is there anything that makes you?
Yeah. Eating at a place, wondering if I'm going to get dysentery. That scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That knows no
I've
light
had it
down.
a few times. And yeah, it's not nice. It scares me. I don't know. Breaking the string on stage. No, that wouldn't scare me. I don't care about that. I just play with 4, 5 strings.
Yeah, there's still more. It's always backups.
It scares me thinking about me playing back with W.A.S.P.
Yeah, so I guess your relationship with Black is not that great these days.
Well, it's always been the same, with him. Well, no, it's that one. There was one day that it changed. He did one thing. It wouldn't let me go to a show once, and that was it. I was like, "You're not a friend of mine ever from day one. From now on, and from this day on, you cannot. There's nothing will change me from hating your guts." So he couldn't give me money. Couldn't get on his knees. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't blow me. Nothing would change it. I don't care what it is for me to ever be his close friend again.
Right.
And he wouldn't let me go to a show when my ex was nominated for Vocalist of the Year at the award show, on TV. He wouldn't let me go because he was fucking jealous. You can swear, can you swear?
You can say whatever you want.
He was jealous of Chris here, It pissed me off. You don't do that to people.
No, that sounds totally uncool.
Right.
So that's what started the whole thing for years then.
That was
it.
From that point on, if he was like, fell off a boat and we were going over to Ireland, and I saw him, and I had a life preserver in my hand, I would not throw it to him. He can make it back a boat by himself. I'm not his friend.
That's pretty severe.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And he knows that. I told him that. You just don't do that to people. There's lines you cross. Another one. Then I find out way later that I was never written down as a songwriter.
Kind of ridiculous.
Kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write a lot of the stuff. But I was never written down in publishing at ASCAP. I was written down as a session player.
That's ridiculous.
That's what it's kind of nasty in this business, you know.
I mean, the band was never the same after you left.
Nah.
Well, yeah, where does the energy come from?
Yeah.
In the band, you know, it's the way I've always played that way since I was a kid, you know. When I played air guitar, man. When I'm knocking on my door, probably there's the energy coming out of the door. It's just the way I am. But you start off something in the beginning, and it's a friendship. Like, you're broke, you don't have money, and you make a deal. You know, so it's a really tight friendship. But then, I guess he was from New York and came out there with Arthur and Kane. That's why I got to L.A. And you learn about things and learn about how to manipulate people. And I always thought we were close friends until that thing with my ex happened. What it was
You're talking about Lita now, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't let me go to the music awards with her when she was nominated.
Well, I don't understand how you were not allowed to go, though.
Well, we were in the midst of recording a record, and he said I'd be in that day.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought like somehow you blocked your ticket sales or something.
No. In fact, Sharon Osborne even called our manager, Rod Smallwood, and it was discussed that I didn't go. And it really just, at that point, I didn't know why until the last day I ever talked to him. I couldn't figure it out. And then he said, he walked out of the room, mumbled, I was jealous. And my jaw hit the ground. I was like, I could be jealous because he's a singer, gets more chicks. I couldn't figure it out. But once he said that, everything from 20 years that went wrong that I couldn't figure out, everything made sense to me. So, and I hate it today when people ask me, hey, you're going to play back with W.A.S.P? And I explain them a few things. And if I would be an idiot. I'd be a stupid fucking dickhead to go back and play with them. I'd be stupid. Give him the joy of playing with some energy.
Yeah.
It's that I played the other week. I think, man, I'm getting old, 55. And it was horrible, but everybody else came up and told me it was killer. It had the same energy. I hope I have one at 60.
But you have,
Oh God,
you have played with a lot of the other W.A.S.P guys, though.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go to Russia with Randy probably in a few months, or Australia, someplace like that.
Yeah, someplace far.
Yeah. And, with Randy, I played with Steve and L.A. Guns for it was supposed to be 3 months, but that got canceled. They couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Yeah,
It was funny.
Wow, why is that?
Just because the way I am. L.A. Guns, they're great guys, but could you imagine them? On stage, they had who played with them at the time? Brett Muskrat from Professor.
Yeah.
You said, imagine Brett playing with me
on
stage. I'd go be rocking, and he'd be like trying to get the sweat off him from me. Go back to your own side of the stage.
I swear for like the longest time I always thought he's very womanly. He almost looks like a woman. I mean, he looks more manly now.
Okay, hang on. Most guitar players out of the 80s look like what? Look like fucking
you never
women.
look like a woman.
well, because I come from a certain side, part of the track. I can't help my height. I don't play basketball, but most guitar players are little femmy guys. Play a little Les Paul, like Jimmy Page and shit like that. I look at those, Randy Rhoads. Thank God I wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
Little femmy guy. I auditioned the same night. He did for Ozzy. In '79. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing I never know.
I auditioned at 8 o'clock, and he went down saw a Quiet Riot play. What, you think he's going to take me? No. How's he going to pick me up on stage?
Yeah, you could. I don't think you could get on his shoulders.
Yeah, so dragged in the circumstances and conditions the way he died, and there's been some other theories about the plane and all this crap, Randy Rhoads. But it's there's two ways to look at it. He died on top. He'll always be remembered to where he's at. To me, I grew up in those years. I grew up in Pasadena. There's Quiet Riot grew up in Burbank, and there's a line between those two. Who's on the Pasadena side?
Yeah.
Van Halen. So it's real radical rivalry back in the '70s. And if you went to a Quiet Riot gig and showed up at Van Halen, got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You weren't welcome there ever.
It was like the East Coast, West Coast rap thing.
Worse than that.
Yeah.
It was way worse than that. Way worse. But those are the two rival bands, So.
But to come out of what you're doing, I'd like to talk about what you're doing now. So
Yeah, I'm doing a CHP project. California Highway Patrol, whatever CHP.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you should get Larry Wilcox right here and talk to him about it.
He wouldn't even know. Take a picture. Larry, I like Punch. I like
Yeah.
the taco bender.
Don't tell him that.
Why?
Oh no, don't tell me you picked the other guy better.
Well, that's what you see.
Yeah.
Come on, it's chips. Nobody thinks Larry Wilcox.
Oh.
In fact, I live by.
Some girls like blondes.
Hey, I live by the Caltrans office. I want to get chips. I just go down there. So I get your tickets all signed off. I'm gonna go down there and give him a picture of me. I got a guitar that says CHP on it, the actual logo.
Nice.
I'm gonna take a picture in there and ask them to hang it on the wall at CHP office.
I think they probably will.
They might. They might.
You can tell my set was okay.
And then-
It should let that work.
When they look up my record and find I have 6 DUIs, they might take it right down. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, think.
And go down Larry Wilcox. I gotta pay $20 to take a picture with him. Well, you have to in these things.
He might cuddle with you for free.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I doubt it. That's the way people are here to take money, to make money with pictures. So it's no, I wouldn't. Wouldn't. I guarantee it.
I just actually lost where I was.
Trying to bring it to
Next question.
Yeah.
current
Oh,
present.
I remember.
Pay for this guy.
Come on, this is very professional.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I remember. So I'm sure this is probably like the thing you get obviously asked about the most, but about the
metal ears.
pool. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
How'd you remember that?
It's kind of the Western civilization too.
awesome.
Metal years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Penelope Spheris.
stupid movie.
Yeah.
Being in a pool drunk is one thing, but people that paid money to see that's the dumb shit. That movie was a joke. It was a documentary. It was a stupid.
Yeah.
It was a stupid documentary. It wasn't even done right. Is it about L.A.? Why, if it's about L.A., why do you have Kiss in there? Why do you have Aerosmith in there? Why do you have Ozzy in there? It's not.
Right.
It's not L.A.
So you didn't like the movie? Did you like it when it came out?
The reason why I did it, as a guy I went to high school with was her boyfriend, so I've known her for a long time, kind of here and there. And then my brother was into punk rock. I went and saw the first movie. It's horrible. And I didn't
Right.
like. I don't like punk rock, And well, it's not that I don't like it. It has energy. It's just in the '80s it killed rock in L.A. Punk scene came in. Then she called me because she just talked to Blackhead in London and asked me to do a part in the interview, an interview in the movie. I go, why don't you ask Blackhead? She goes, I just got off the phone with him. He wants this much money and that, and so she goes, can you just do an interview? That's all it was. That's all it was, just an interview.
Right.
And it happened to be I was hammered, and it's just the way it's edited. My mom happened to come down there. I don't look at it bad. As a role model, I would sure hate to see some kid just guzzle booze down his throat, wanting to be like that.
Well, we actually had it. The reason I said that because we actually had that happen on our show. We had a gas. It wasn't a kid. It was how was he? 35.
Yeah, he's
And he was just like during the interview, he was just like
Whiskey just-
guzzling whiskey, and I'm like, I know that this is going to end badly. You should not do this.
it did.
Yeah.
If the guy's done it all his life,
Yeah.
he'd be.
It immediately made me think of that scene though, because I'd
Well-
never seen anybody do that before, other than that movie. And I'm like, this. And by the end of the night, he was in our bush. I was sitting in front of our house. I'm like, I don't want this happening here. It's just,
Oh, the problem is I'd do that and still stay awake and still keep bothering people.
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
Yeah.
You could, if you ever talk to somebody in a WASP camp, right?
you still enjoy a few.
No, I don't drink anymore.
Oh, you don't?
No, I
Good.
quit. I got 6 DUIs, and my 6th one, they tried me as my first one. So I've been through a few programs, and I did what the counselor did. He did what he told me to, and it was be sober for 1 year. And when you're sober for 1 year and you hang with your friends that are drunk, you don't want to drink anymore.
Oh yeah, it's sort of
You do not.
like you look at the behavior and you're like,
Oh,
really?
it
I was
blows
doing
your
this.
mind.
Yeah,
It
it's
blows
like
your
ridiculous.
mind, and you go like this, man. Whoa! And I used to lead the pack, but you make bad decisions, and it was weird. As my counselor said, if you don't drink for 1 year, you'll never, ever, ever drink again, Chris. That guy's full of crap, and so I did it. And yeah, he's right. He's right.
So what's your go vice now? Candy?
My advice is to treat others how you want to be treated. Treat others how you want to be
That's a
treated.
good motto.
Whether you're drunk or whatever the hell, treat other people how you want to be treated. I hate people that hurt other people, to either for jealousy, for money, for machoism. Those are all pussy people that can't do anything with their lives,
Yeah.
That can't get whatever job or whatever, steal from people. I hate people that steal from people. you know, thieves, and I'm not a vigilante, and I do like.
You're not Charles Bronson?
No, but all my friends are drug addicts and alcoholics, and I hang with them even today, you know.
It probably helps you stay on the wagon by looking at what's going on.
Well, I don't drink.
No, I mean,
I don't drink.
stay.
I don't drink.
I mean, it keeps you sober. Oh, so there's
Well,
other.
what do you consider sober? I'll be honest with you. I don't. Drinking was where I'd go. I didn't care when I drank.
You still might partake in a marijuana cigarette.
Chemicals.
What is, the reefer?
Well, I never had any problems when I did certain chemicals, hurting other people, being rude, you know. But alcohol, I didn't give a crap. Didn't care. I just so alcohol's my problem. Other things, I don't. You know, you get to a certain age and you get tired of being. It's a pain in the ass being high. I like kind of being sober.
Yeah.
You know, enjoy things.
I like being sober too.
But if I was a kid and somebody told me that, it'd be a different situation, you know. And when you play music, you want to feel. You feel bad, you're gonna play bad music, right? You feel good.
Yeah.
You're gonna write good music, you know.
All right. I know you probably got to get back to your table, so I guess the last and the most important question I have for you is: are you honored to appear on Metal Rules TV, and why?
Am I honored?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, any TV. And why? I don't know. I guess, I'm part of a culture that came out in the '80s that people like to talk about, and I'm still alive.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man.
I didn't plan on being there for this long.
Stuff.
I like